In a small town, there lived a boy named Ryan. He was very smart. He had so much potential that he could do anything he wanted. He had a big dream. He wanted to become a doctor. Everything was going well, and his goal was clear. But Ryan had one big problem. He couldn't control his own mind. Ryan's mind was always restless. Every time he sat down to study, his mind would start to wander, sometimes toward his phone, sometimes to Facebook or YouTube, and sometimes into daydreams. He often told himself, there's still a lot of time, I'll study later. But the funny thing was that later never really came. His parents and even his teachers at school would tell him how important it was to study with full focus. But Ryan believed that if someone is smart, they will succeed. He thought nothing else was needed. One day, the results of the school scholarship exam came out. Ryan had hoped in his heart that if he won the scholarship, his dream of becoming a doctor would become a little easier. But when he saw the result, his heart broke. He had failed. His friends, who studied regularly, all did very well. The same teachers who once praised him now looked at him with disappointment. That evening, Ryan sat alone. He felt very ashamed. He knew he wasn't lacking intelligence. He had just wasted time. In that moment, he realized something important. Being smart is not enough. Without discipline, no success will come. Right after that, Ryan made a decision. He had to change himself. So he looked for a teacher who would not only teach subjects but also help students build discipline. He found Coach Miller, a very experienced physical education teacher. Coach Miller was not just about exercise. He also helped students improve their focus and self-control. People used to say that even the most unfocused boys would slowly become disciplined under his guidance. Ryan went to Coach Miller and said, "Coach, I just can't focus on my studies. When I sit to study, my mind keeps jumping from one thing to another. What can I do to improve my concentration?" Coach Miller smiled gently and said, "Controlling the mind is not easy, Ryan. Come, let me show you something." He took Ryan to the school playground. From the sports equipment room, he brought out a toy bow and arrow. He set up a board in the field and said, "If you can hit the center of this board, I'll know how focused you really are." Ryan shot the arrow, but it missed the target. Coach asked, "What were you looking at when you shot the arrow?" Ryan answered, "The trees around me, the field, and the board." Coach shook his head and said, "That's your real problem. You are looking at everything at the same time. Look, a good athlete only looks at the target, nothing else." He added, "Ryan, your mind is busy with everything around you. Your phone, social media, YouTube. If you want to succeed in life, then during study time, you must only look at your goal, nothing else." Ryan understood the message, but he asked, "Coach, where should I start? How do I become more disciplined?" Coach Miller said, "Listen, I'll tell you 4 simple rules. If you can follow them, that will be enough. 1. Control your thoughts. Whenever your mind goes in another direction, remind yourself, this is my study time. I must focus now. 2. Make a routine. Create a daily schedule. Decide when you will study and when you will rest. You'll see your brain will slowly start to follow the routine. 3. Keep distractions away. Your phone, TV, and useless apps steal your time. Keep them away while studying. 4. Practice every day. Nothing happens in one day. Build small habits every day. This is the real key to mental discipline. Ryan listened carefully to everything the coach said. He made a strict routine for himself. He turned off his phone while studying. Every time his mind wandered, he reminded himself, "My goal is to become a doctor." At first it was very hard, but slowly his focus started to improve. After some time, he was able to study for hours without getting distracted. A few months later, he took another important exam. This time, he didn't just pass, he came in first place. Ryan knew this wasn't just luck or talent, it was the result of his discipline and focus. About a year later, when he stepped on the stage to receive a scholarship, he remembered something Coach Miller had told him. The mind is like a wild horse. If you don't control it, it will drag you wherever it wants. But if you train it, it will take you to your destination. From that day on, Ryan held on to one principle. Train your mind with discipline, and success will follow you. If you feel this story should reach more people, please like and share the video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay with us. I'll be back again with another inspiring story. Until then, be patient, be thankful, and keep moving forward in life.
Welcome to a deep dive that cuts through the noise and gets straight to the insights you need. Today, we're really digging into a set of notes that explore a surprisingly common challenge: how to truly harness your intelligence with focus and discipline. And when we say discipline here, it's not about harsh self-punishment, real.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah.
It's more about, the consistent application of habits,
Sure.
routines.
Exactly, and focus being that ability to channel your mental energy efficiently towards one thing.
Especially with all the distractions constantly pulling at us.
So we're going to unpack the journey of this young man named Ryan. His story reveals a pretty crucial truth, I think, about achieving goals, particularly now. What happens when just being smart isn't quite enough?
Well, what's truly fascinating here is how this story just illuminates that gap, doesn't it? The gap between, let's say, raw potential and actual performance. We'll explore how Ryan moved from having this really restless, easily distracted mind to a much more focused approach that, well, brought him success. And we'll pull out those actionable steps he took.
Steps that seem surprisingly universal, actually.
They really are.
Okay, so let's dive into Ryan's world. The story kicks off describing him as incredibly smart. You know, the kind of kid with so much potential.
Could do anything he wanted. That's the phrase used.
Right. And his big dream was clear: become a doctor. So with all that intelligence, what was the actual problem? What was holding him back?
The core issue, as the notes point out, was his inability to sort of control his own mind. It was always restless. That's the description. And this taps into something psychologists often call mind wandering,
Right.
where your thoughts just drift off.
Right, away from the task at hand.
Exactly. It's not really a flaw in intelligence itself, but learning to gently guide that mental energy back. That's the key skill.
And how many of us, even with clear goals, find our minds just jumping all over the place?
Oh, constantly. It's very relatable.
It really is. The notes paint this picture. Ryan sits down to study, and instantly, his mind's gone.
Phone, Facebook, YouTube.
We're just, elaborate daydreams.
Yeah. And he'd tell himself that classic line.
Oh, there's still plenty of time. I'll study later.
We all know that voice, don't we? The procrastination voice.
Definitely. But the source notes say, quite bluntly, later never really came. For someone like Ryan, so smart, what is it about that pattern that's so damaging?
Well, it's insidious.
Yeah.
Partly because he was operating under this really common but flawed assumption that if someone is smart, they will succeed, period. He thought nothing else was needed.
Ah, right. Like intelligence is some kind of automatic path.
Exactly. It's a huge blind spot. It totally overlooks the critical role of, sustained effort, focused application.
It just sets people up for disappointment, even if they're brilliant.
Precisely.
And that disappointment, it arrived pretty quickly with the results of a school scholarship exam. He was really counting on winning it to help fund that doctor dream, but it failed.
Oof. Yeah.
And you have to imagine that moment. His friends who studied consistently, they did well. And the teachers who used to praise him, now looking at him with, well, disappointment.
That's a real gut punch.
Absolutely.
And in that moment, that feeling of shame, but also realization, Ryan grasped something profound. Being smart is not enough. Without discipline, no success will come.
That's a huge aha moment, isn't it?
Absolutely pivotal.
Yeah.
A fundamental shift in understanding what it really takes.
So, okay, Ryan knows he has to change. He decides to actively look for help. But interestingly, He wasn't just looking for any teacher. He wanted someone specific.
Right. Someone who could help him build discipline itself, not just teach, say, biology or chemistry.
And that's how he lands on Coach Miller, an experienced physical education teacher.
Which is an interesting choice, right?
Yeah.
Coach Miller wasn't just about, running labs. He had this reputation, helping students improve their focus, their self-control.
Yeah, the notes say that even the most unfocused kids became disciplined under him.
Which really highlights something important. Discipline isn't just for schoolwork or sports.
Yep.
It's foundational.
A core life skill. But is it typical, do you think, to seek out a PE teacher for mental coaching?
Feels a bit unusual, perhaps. The notes sort of imply Coach Miller was known for this specific skill, maybe a bit of a hidden gem.
Right. So Ryan goes straight to him, says, Coach, I just can't focus on my studies. When I sit down, my mind keeps jumping. What can I do?
And Coach Miller's response was apparently quite gentle but direct.
Yeah, just acknowledging the reality. Controlling the mind is not easy, Ryan.
No quick fixes.
No. So Coach Miller takes Ryan out to the school playground, pulls out a toy bow and arrow,
Okay, a bit unexpected.
sets up a board and challenges Ryan, hit the center,
And Ryan shoots.
and misses. So what's the lesson here? It seems a bit random.
Well, Coach immediately asks him a crucial question. What were you looking at when you shot?
Okay.
And Ryan's answer is really the key. He says, the trees around me, the field, and the board.
Ah, looking at everything but the specific target.
Exactly. And that's where Coach Miller connects the dots. He shakes his head and says, that's your real problem. You are looking at everything at the same time. Look, he says, a good athlete only looks at the target, nothing else.
Wow. What a powerful, simple analogy.
Isn't it? And he immediately ties it back to Ryan's study problem.
Right, saying your mind is busy with everything around you, your phone, social media, YouTube, all that noise.
He stressed that to succeed during study time, Ryan must only look at your goal, nothing else.
It speaks so directly to managing distractions, doesn't it? That need for singular focus.
It really does. It's about deliberately narrowing your attention, minimizing that cognitive load,
Right. Trying to process too much just overwhelms the brain. Performance suffers.
So the lesson is intentional focus,
Yeah.
even with distractions all around. It's like a muscle you can train.
Okay, so Ryan gets the concept. He understands the why. But that only gets you so far, right? He needed the how. What were the actual practical steps Coach Miller gave him?
Yeah, this is where it gets really actionable. Coach Miller gave him 4 simple but powerful rules, almost like a mental workout plan.
Okay, rule number 1.
1, control your thoughts. Coach basically said, whenever your mind wanders off, actively remind yourself, this is study time. Focus now.
So it's about catching yourself, that active redirection.
Exactly. It's a bit like metacognition, thinking about your thinking, strengthening that attention muscle.
Got it. Rule 2.
2, make a routine. Simple as that. Create a daily schedule. Decide when you'll study, when you'll rest. He said, you'll see your brain will slowly start to follow the routine. It taps into the power of habit.
Our brains like predictability, right? Reduces decision fatigue.
Precisely. Okay? 3, keep distractions away.
The obvious one, maybe?
Obvious, but hard. Coach was direct. Your phone, TV, useless apps, they steal your time. Keep them away while studying.
Physically remove the temptation. Minimize that attention residue from switching tasks.
You got it. And finally, 4, practice every day.
Consistency.
Yeah. Nothing happens in one day, Coach said. Build small habits every day. This is the real key to mental discipline.
It's not about some heroic one-off effort. It's the small daily steps.
That's the core message. Consistency over intensity. That's what rewires the brain.
So what did Ryan do with all this? Did it stick?
Well, the notes say he listened carefully. And crucially, he put the rules into action.
Yep.
Made that strict routine, turned off his phone during study blocks, and every single time his mind started to wander, he'd actively pull it back. My goal is to become a doctor.
You can just imagine how hard that must have been at first. That mental friction, the urge to check the phone.
Oh, absolutely. The notes say it wasn't easy. It was a constant battle initially. But slowly, gradually, his focus started to improve.
That neuroplasticity thing, right? Training the brain.
Exactly. By consistently redirecting his attention, he was literally retraining his brain circuits for sustained focus. After some time, apparently, he could study for hours without getting distracted.
That's a huge transformation.
Massive.
So the real test. A few months later, Ryan takes another big exam.
Yep. And this time,
He didn't just pass, he came in first place.
Wow.
And the notes emphasize Ryan knew this wasn't just luck or talent.
No, it was the result of his discipline and focus.
It's such clear proof of concept, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shifting the approach unlocks the potential.
Absolutely.
Huh.
And there's one final piece of wisdom from Coach Miller that Ryan remembered later.
Oh, yeah.
About a year later, actually, when he was on stage accepting a scholarship.
Okay.
He remembered Coach saying, "The mind is like a wild horse.
Nice metaphor.
If you don't control it, it will drag you wherever it wants.
Uh.
But if you train it, it will take you to your destination."
That really sums up the whole journey, doesn't it? Our minds have this incredible power, this energy.
Yeah, huge potential.
Mm.
But without guidance, without training, that energy just scatters. Or worse, works against you.
So from that day, Ryan apparently held on to this one core principle. Train your mind with discipline.
And success will follow you. It's not about wishing you were smarter. It's about mastering the tool you already have, your focus.
So recapping, we've seen Ryan go from being held back by that restless mind, despite being smart, to completely transforming his path by embracing discipline. And his story, it's not just about becoming a doctor, is it?
No, I don't think so. It's really about mastering your own focus in this incredibly distracting world we live in.
Using those 4 simple rules and that core idea of just aiming at your target.
Yeah, this deep dive really reminds us, I think, that intelligence, raw intelligence, it's a gift, sure, but discipline, that's the vehicle. That's what takes the gift where it needs to go.
That wild horse metaphor is powerful. It really sticks.
It does. It suggests our minds can do amazing things, but only if we learn to actually guide them, direct that energy.
Especially now, with constant information overload, learning to rein in that wild horse feels more crucial than ever.
Couldn't agree more.
So, thinking about all this, what really stands out to you listening from Ryan's journey? As you consider your own goals, your own distractions, how might you start applying this principle? Training your own mind with discipline, maybe start on a day.